Okay, so let's spend time today discussing the questions. Um okay, the first one, which of the following addressing modes? So I hope you are able to see the question number one in the shared screen. So what is the answer to that? So we cannot use immediate. We cannot use immediate indexed because that will be useful for A of 3 kind of things. Register direct. Uh, Direct address will not be possible. Register indirect could have been possible had this been via a pointer. Similarly, indirect, direct we cannot use. Absolute also we cannot use. So it has to be variable indexed where you have the base address is unknown to you, but the offset is known to you. Immediate indexed. So it has, sorry, not variable index, it has to be immediate index because the immediate is known to you, the offset of any field, but the base address is unknown, so it has to be immediate index. Variable indexed will not be useful because we don't really go for different offsets of, I mean, these are not something which are statically unknown, right? So you will not go for variable index. You will not go for register indirect because that is not something we are asking about the pointers. If this would have been via pointers, you could have possibly used that. Okay, so I'll move to the next one. This was, will it be useful in self-referential structures? Again, you are not going to access self-referential structures via, I mean, you will access it via fields, but you will not refer to a field using register indirect. Right? You will refer to the structure, you will not refer to a field. Right? So pointer will be pointing to a structure. Okay. There is negative marking for multiple correct. Yes, there is, similar to the Q1. Okay. Otherwise, you could mark everything if there is no negative marking, right? And it will get full marks. All right. So coming to the second question, what is this code doing? So it's actually okay. Let me write it down. But if you look at it, what it is essentially doing is um, so there is whatever is getting loaded from B, right? So that is like saying I'm storing it in a temporary. After that, I'm going to do B equal to A plus B. Right? With whatever was the value loaded from A into some register, B into some register, etc. Then I'm going to do C equal to A because the value loaded into the register from A is getting stored into memory location of C. And then the temporary which was storing the value of B, which was the original value of B, that is getting added to A. Right? So then the A is changing with that temporary. Note that that temporary is important because B's value is changing with that A plus B. So that is the work that is happening essentially. And then we have to, oops, sorry. Then we have to look for which of the statements is essentially doing that. Right? So you'll be able to figure that out, that the first one is uh, doing something similar. So you are loading A and then you are loading whatever B, C, etc. And then add R1, R2, R1 is essentially storing the value of uh, R1 and R2 into R1, and that R1 was referring to B, and that B we are am I storing it properly? Add R1, R2 to R1 and then store. None of the options match. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, so I think many of you have possibly written none of the options match. Let me see. Okay, let's see. I think let's look at this second option. So B is loaded in R1, then A is loaded in R2, and then I am going to add R1 and R2 and store it in R3. Oh, R3 yeah, so that seems fine. So I'm storing it in R3 and that B value, oh, there is no store for B back. Oh, I see, I see. I think I missed that. Yeah, that is correct. So I think I'll have to give marks for no answer, no correct answer. Okay, so that seems to be fine. That seems to, I'll check it once, but yeah, you are right that there is no store back to B, which should have been there. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that seems fine. All right, good. So we'll move to the next one. No, no, closest is not something which we'll agree with. No, it won't be grace or removed. It will just be that whatever is the correct answer, which means that you don't need to mark anything. That should be the answer. Consider the production A deriving B, C, D. No, 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 Arnav. See, here, okay, let me go back to that question. So we are saying which of the following codes is our equivalent. So it doesn't say that at least one of the options is going to be correct. We should not be relying on that.
Sir, select one or more.
Sir, it says select
Yeah.
I think that one or more is
Yeah.
something which is default of Moodle, right? That is not
Yeah.
something which, and even in quiz one we had such questions. So I'm not going to rely on that.
But
Yeah.
sir, it specifically
Sir,
said select one or more, right? So we have
because
like,
of-
and we thought I went for the closest option. Like there was just one.
No, no.
If you just change
No, no,
one
no. I
number,
think that
it
is not
changes
the
to
right
a correct code.
way to think
Sir?
about it. I would not give marks for this one.
sir,
Yeah.
Sir, but we asked on Moodle and there was no response corresponding to what we should do about this. So,
Hmm?
like, I also marked the one, assuming that it
sir,
was a
because
typo.
of this, time was also wasted because I had to recheck every option. I thought I had missed something because there was no
Yes,
answer.
sir.
So,
That is okay. I mean, you can get a question where there is no correct answer. So I think that is perfectly fine.
sir, how is this fine?
Sir, but we asked on the group and there was no response saying that we should leave. The question also says select one or more.
What was
So
the
you
question in the chat box? You asked something, you said?
Vishnu asked that what should, like, if there is no correct answer, what should we do?
And what was the answer? There was no response to that. Vishnu? Vishnu is around? It doesn't seem to be. But anyway, I can look at in your. You're told that he can't answer that. Oh, I cannot answer that. Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
So, but this is a typo from your end. So why are
So
we
yes,
getting
sir.
penalized?
See, this is a typo in the answers from my end, right? There is no typo in the question.
Sir, select one or more.
Select one or more is Moodle default, and that is something which we have also seen in the last quiz. I don't think that that should be given answer.
Sir, but last quiz we marked something and it was given bonus. Like it wasn't like the answer was.
No, in that case, the question itself was wrong. Right. So there, I don't think this situation was there.
So, but the spirit of the question was completely different.
It also,
We
no,
can discuss this little later because I would like to finish going through the questions. We can come back to this question if there is time, or you can mail me after that. But I don't think I'll be able to give you marks for this one. Are we supposed to solve the question or learn the Moodle defaults? Yeah, we will come back to this discussion a little later. Right? So I don't think I'll listen to this one. Anyway, I'm going to move ahead. Okay, so the production is A deriving B, C, D, which of the rules are L attributed, right? So here, yeah, so C dot S equal to D dot I is going to be so you are reading something from the right hand side, so that is definitely not L attributed, right? So I think there are still couple of them which are going to be L attributed. So C is reading from D. So this B is reading from A, so that is L attributed inherited part. A is reading from B and C, that is also synthesized. D reading from A and B is also coming from left and above. So both of these are L attributed. B, C, D, is it? So A is reading from B and D, that seems okay. A reading from B and D, yeah, that's the same statement, so that seems okay. A reading from D is all right. B reading from A and C is not all right. Right, so yeah, so B, C, D should be the answer. Okay, we do not know if dot S is an inherited attribute. No, we said that there is no, we don't know anything about that attribute, whether it is inherited or synthesized. We are just saying that we are reading from the inherited part, that's it. No, Raghu, this is something which is derivable from the statements. It's not derivable from the names of the attributes. So we are just reading an attribute of B using A's attribute. So we'll say that this is inherited part. Since we do not know, we can't guarantee A dot S is independent of D dot S. Hence, it need not be L attributed. A dot S is independent of D dot S. Where is that coming from? I mean, these are the rules that are given. We can't think of any other, I mean, otherwise everything will become non-L attributed, right? If we rely on some other rule might be present. Okay, so I'm going to move ahead from here. This was relatively simpler. This is the decimal value of the reverse of the binary number. Right, so that should be, most of you should have gotten it. True answer. So 5 node in SSA gets converted to load effective address instruction, that is false. Postfix XDTs are L attributed, that is true. In fact, it is S attributed, but that also means that it is L attributed. In the following grammar, cap is right associative. So this is a little tricky. It actually turns out to be neither left associative nor right associative. So you can generate both of these strings such that the left one gets evaluated first or the right one. So that is also not true. If there exists a non-terminal which uses the attributes of only its left siblings, then the grammar is L attributed. This is also false because of there exists and not for all. If a for loop is converted to an equivalent value, then the minimum number of basic block for the two loops remains the same. This turns out to be correct. So B and E are correct. Okay, so I'll move ahead. Consider a compiler having one address code as the IR. So equal to B star C. So this is going to be push B, push C, and although hyphen has hyphen has a higher precedence, so this is going to push B, push C, push D.
Sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. In question 5, I didn't understand how E is correct. Won't for loop also have an extra block?
Extra block for?
Initialization would be there, sir. Then we'll have the, like, I counted it was coming one extra for loop.
No, so I mean, if that block, that initialization block will be converted to a different basic block in both for loop as well as while loop.
So in while loop, we don't have any initialization block, right?
Correct, but equivalent while loop for conversion, you will have to create a separate while block, a separate
Oh,
initialization.
oh, we meant equivalent. Okay, fine, sir.
Okay. So here this is going to be push B, push C, push D. Then there is a sub operation. Then there is mult operation without any arguments. And then there is going to be a pop A operation. Right? So therefore accordingly we will require 6 number of instructions for this one. Okay, then the 3 address code instructions, little convoluted expression, but I suppose you must have gotten it that essentially the number of operators is going to give you the number of temporaries and accordingly the number of instructions. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So there will be 9 3 address code instructions generated for this one.
Sir,
Yeah.
well, there will be 2 load instructions as well, right? For X
You
and
have
Y. Like
taken
I
load.
asked in the, I specifically asked in the chat box, do we assume that X and Y are in memory or in registers?
Oh, I see. This was about that. I see. So you added 2 registers, 2 load
Yeah,
instructions.
we need 2 load instructions further.
But
Like I
there is
specifically asked at that point actually.
that is correct. But then this we are still talking about the IR. So there is
Yes,
no
but still we
register.
need to
No, so the
keep
register. I mean,
that.
in 3 address code, you can have the memory instruction, memory operand directly, right? So you can use X and Y directly.
Okay.
All right. So looks like I have troubled you all on that question. That's why suddenly the interaction has reduced. But anyway, I'll go ahead with this. So consider the following C function, and yeah, so this, yeah, this is something which might be a little tricky, but in one of the lectures, I was mentioning that there is going to be this base pointer, and then positive addresses are going to be the arguments because those are pushed by the caller, and the negative offsets are going to be for the local variables, and therefore the base address with respect to the base pointer, we are going to have only the local variables coming into picture here. Right? Although some of you must have done addition of A and B also. So that is going to be X is going to require 32 bits. C is going to require one byte, but since alignment is at 2 bytes, therefore it will take 2 bytes, and therefore the from the base pointer it is going to require 6 bytes for the offset of Y. Okay. Then there was this minimum number of basic blocks for CFG. Yeah, I don't remember what was the answer to that. Does anybody remember? Otherwise, I'll have to look it up. if I recall, I think it does require 10 basic blocks, where you are going to have these sum I equal to 0 and n greater than 0 in the first block. Then there is going to be I less than n. After that, there is going to be I mod 3, which is also another separate basic block. Then sum plus equal to II and sum minus equal to II in two different basic blocks. Right? Break will also be along with this, which essentially is just going to add one edge to the basic block just after the for loop. And then there will be, then there will be this condition, which will be again a separate basic block. Sum equal to 0 will be another basic block. Then II plus 2 will be another basic block. Right? So all of these add to 9 basic blocks, and then this minus minus I minus minus sum and evaluation of II will all be in the same basic block with a self loop. Then there will be II equal to 0 also, right? I think I have not considered this II equal to 0, or I have. I think I have considered this, yeah. So there should be around 10, I think 10 basic blocks. Okay, this was a problematic question because I had given 5 as this one. But I think more importantly, the column measure order should give you the formula. So in general, for row measure order for ijk, array of ijk, we say that it is going to be with one indexed. We could have said 8 into 6 plus j minus 1 into 6 plus k, right? So this would have been our formula. So I think there are.
Sir, for the previous question,
Right.
some of us got 11. Could you check?
Okay. Okay. I think I missed some messages here. Uh, 11, is it? Okay, let me just quickly go back to that question. Okay, so these three are going to be 1, right? So n greater than 0 is going to be, based on that condition, you are going to have left or right. The left part is going to come to II equal to 0, right? So there are 2 basic blocks so far. II less than n is going to be 3rd basic block. II mod 3 is 4th basic block. This is 5th, this is 6th, right? So that break, whether you include it in the basic block or you just add an edge, doesn't matter. So there will be 6 basic blocks so far. Then this condition is going to be 7th. Sum equal to 0 is 8th basic block. Then all of these together are going to be possible in the 9th basic block. And then II plus equal to 2 is possible in the 10th basic block. Right?
So why is the condition in while in the same basic block?
Because this goes in the similar spirit that you have to attach. So anyway, that II is not going to have any other incoming edge, right? So it is going to just have a self loop, and therefore II can get evaluated in the same basic block. If it is true, it's a last instruction in that. So you can have an edge which is going to go either to II equal to 0, or it will go back to itself, which is going to be the same basic block. Does that seem okay? Just check it out. I think that will be a little contentious point, but you'll be able to figure out that it should be in the same. You can have the edge to itself by including that II into the same basic block. It need not be separated. All right. So this one, so this formula that I wrote was for the row measure. The column measure, it is going to get reversed. So it is going to be k minus 1 into 7 into 8, right, plus j minus 1 into 7 and plus I, right? So because we are going in the column measure order. So that turns out to be 11223390 as Raghu has mentioned. At least that's the calculations that I also have. So it should look something like this. It should not be k, by the way, it should be k minus 1, whatever I have written there. Right, so the formula should look something like this, and that should give you the answer. In fact, that was also a hint in some sense, because many of you were asking if hexadecimal values could be, I could not put it. Anyway, so that is supposed to be the answer. That's the number of entries. What do you mean by number of entries? We are asking about the address of that location, which is going to be the base address, followed by whatever is the offset. Yeah, char is 1 by. Yeah, that's the reason why I added char. Otherwise, it would have again required some multiplications. Any confusion there, Prajwal? Why is that? We said char matrix. Okay, so I'll move ahead. So this program fragment, yeah, dependency graph. Yeah, so this was relatively easy in the sense that, well, essentially it is going to come to be number of, I think, operators, yeah, the number of instructions is what it will probably come to. But anyway, so what was the answer to this one? Number of edges. Yeah, so I think it should be 15. Add R0, R1, R1. We consider 2 edges. Yeah, for add we will consider. Yeah, for add we will consider 2 edges, and for store. Yeah, there will be 2 edges. Yeah, that is correct. So I think it should come to 15. That seems correct. So yeah, so essentially when you have A being loaded here, wherever you are using in R0, so then there should be a dependence on, for example, use of R0, right? So that should be what it is. So that should give you, I think it should give you 15, and then there will be 3 for, so 6 for 6 into 2 for add, and then 3 for the store. So that should give you 15. Yeah. Because there is dependence from these also to the store. Okay, I'll move ahead. So this question is from the book, but little modified. So I think it's not considered to be right associative in the book. So it asks for expression tags. I'm just asking number of nodes, but that number of nodes does turn out to be similar. I mean, yeah. So X is going to get reused, but there is no expression which is going to get reused, right? So because it is right associative, X star X, then X star of star, and then X star of all of this. So there is nothing which is essentially getting reused. Right? And even if you remove parenthesis, it doesn't matter. That is, I think, more to confuse people. But x star, x, no, it cannot be used because it is right associative. So you have to have all of this computed before you can apply this star. Right? So that is the reason why we have this right associativity. Otherwise, as soon as you say that this can be reused, that means that you are evaluating in left to right order. So everything is right associative, and therefore essentially there is no reuse in this case. So that reduces, that increases the number of nodes that are required. There are, yeah, so as Anirudh is suggesting, it is 8 plus 1. So 1 for x and 8 for the 8 stars. Okay. Minimum number of labels generated. This I suppose was okay. It should be 3, yeah. So 1 is required initially to jump back x less than n4. And as soon as we say minimum, that means that you can make use of fall through. You don't need another label at the end of the while loop. Right? So you can make use of that fall through. And then 1 is required after evaluation of this. Another is required after evaluation of this. Right? This becomes a fall through. And after x equal to y plus z also becomes a fall through to plus plus x. And that falls through to x less than n4. And from n4 you have a jump. So it should be 3.
Sir?
Yeah, Venkat.
But it says use short circuiting, so won't we, like if x equal to n1 is false, then won't we have to jump to z less than n3?
If it is false, then you should jump to z less than n3. That is correct.
Yeah, so we'll need a label for z less than n3 as well, right?
I think you should be able to do it. Let me see. So it's possible, Venkat, that you can have x if it is false.
So what I mean is z less than n3 will not just be a fall through, right? Because x less than n1 will make it, like if it is false, then I'll have to jump just before z less than n3. So one label
No, that
will
is
be
correct. That is correct. You can still, I think, do it. So let me see. So you can, instead of jump if 0, you can use jump if non-zero. And from there you can, so fall through will happen to y equals n2. And you can have a jump to z less than n3, I think. So let me see. So if it is true, then you fall through to a comparison with y n2. Otherwise, you have to jump to, yeah, z less than n3. That seems correct. Did I miss something there?
Sir, and if y equal to if x equal to n1 was true, then we fall through to y equal to n2.
That is
And from
correct.
there, if that is also true, then we don't do z less than n3, right? We'll
That
just
is
straight
correct.
jump
We
to
can
x.
start executing, yeah, that is correct. At least, yeah, so that seems, yeah, we do require jump to comparison with z. That seems
Sir,
correct. Yeah, go ahead.
I just executed in GCC. It actually gave 3 labels for the internal if statement. For while it will be another label.
Yeah, did you do that during the exam also?
No, I'm not in the exam.
Okay.
But yeah, I did it just now. I got 3 labels.
Okay, yeah, okay. So that, let me see. I'm not able to get it, but I think Raghu has written something. X not equal to n1. Then you go to plus plus x. Otherwise, you fall. No, Raghu, I think there are the 2 places from where if x equals n1 is true, then we have to evaluate y equals n2. But if it is false, then we should go to z less than n3, as Venkat is suggesting. So that is not happening here. Anyway, I'll check. If somebody has a ready-made answer, you can push it to chat box. But otherwise, I'll post the correct answer. Don't worry. If it requires 3, so be it. If it requires 4, so be it. Not a problem. But from whatever I thought, it should have been 3, but I could be wrong. So I'll check. If somebody has a ready-made answer, please push that. Otherwise, I'll work it out. No problem. Actually, the one that I have worked it out, I have made a mistake that it is not falling through to comparison with Z and N3. But I'll see, as Arnav has also pointed out, if it is x86 is giving that, I can check if it is correct answer. It should not be without, it should be without any optimization. So I'll check that and I'll confirm. I'll post all these answers, not a problem. Okay, so that is something which I have to check. All right, so let's move ahead. Yeah, the minimum number of load instructions, essentially it is okay. This was a little catchy in the sense that little something which you need to be aware of about the R value and the L value part. So we are going to require 2 load instructions here, one for Q and another for star Q, essentially, because we are interested in the value of star Q. Whereas when you are dealing with star P here, you are not going to require 2 loads. So whatever is the value contained in P, that is the address, and that address is the L value. That's it. So you don't require 2 loads here, right, as far as star P is concerned. And so that was the only catch. And therefore, and since you have already loaded Q, you can make use of it here. And since you have already loaded P, you can make use of that here also. So therefore, the number of loads you require is going to be 3 rather than 4. Okay. So question number 15, minimum number of 5 nodes. Yeah. So does anybody remember the answer to this? We can check quickly. So assignments to X is going to be, yeah, so 1 for yeah, so I think X you require a 5 node because it is coming from outside for loop and also from plus plus X. So that will require 1 5 node. You'll also require 1 for Y because there are 2 this thing coming. Then X plus Y is only a condition, so that is not a problem. Y plus plus and then break. So that gives 2 incoming edges to this if condition. So, but that 2 incoming edges to this if condition, X as far as is concerned, that is still going to be the same one as was used here, which is that 5 node X. Therefore, you don't need a 5 node for X, but you need 5 node for Y because Y value has been modified. So that is another required. So that is the third one. As far as this continue is concerned, that goes directly to plus plus X and plus plus Y. And that continues to use the same 5 node as was used for X plus Y, X and Y. I mean, so that does not add any new 5 node because that value, that value, for example, if I say that that is going to be x03 or something like that, that is still going to continue to be used here, which is being used as a read in this, and then there is some write which is going to happen to x, which is going to be a new instance of x, but it is not going to require a new phi node. Minus minus x is also something which is going to fall through, in the sense that these two instructions, if these are false conditions, then it is going to require new instance of x, but that is not going to have two separate incoming edges, and therefore you don't require a phi node. I mean, two incoming edges is one thing, but there should be also two different values which are coming, then only you require phi node. If it is x3 and x3 coming from both the sides, then you don't require phi node. So this is just a new instance. So here you require phi node for y. Then there is condition on x, condition on y, and then there is new instance of x. Here, just before print, you will require another phi node. Right? So that becomes the fifth phi node. So I think the number of phi nodes, minimum number of phi nodes you require is 5. I don't know if any of you got it, but yeah, that should be the answer. Okay, let me quickly go to 16. Again, this is row major and column major. This was a little different question, but I think some of you must have gotten it correct. So what is the answer to this? 200, okay. Yeah, I too also got it 200. Okay, so essentially it is 10 into 20. All those elements are, no, it's going to 10 into 20 elements are going to be having the same memory location. So that comes to 200. 19i equal to 9j. Yeah, j will get cancelled. That is correct. In fact, it should be 200 into I plus k should be equal to 200 into k plus I. That's how I think you should get it. Yeah, j will get cancelled. That is correct. J will get cancelled. So I think, yeah, the answer, I think maybe you can actually write a program even to compute it. But anyway, I think I'll anyway, maybe I'll write a program and give you the program. You can check if that is correct. Okay, so let's come to next page. Again, in the SSA form, number of variable instances. This might have some issues, is what I feel, with respect to your answers. For example, some of you might have considered x naught, although x naught is not something which should be considered because we are talking about minimum. So the total number of variables, I think the x requires, x is 3 plus 4. So there are 4 variables which are required for x. For y, there are there is only one assignment, and therefore you require 2 instances for y, because y also gets used. But you will require a phi node here, right? Because y is coming from here as well as here, so that creates another instance for y. So for y, we'll require phi node for x. You are right. We will require phi node for x. Yeah. So there are 3 assignments. Yeah. And there is assignment to x here, and therefore we will require a phi node for x. That is correct. Phi node for if else count for x. Yeah, that should get counted. So we have 3 instances of x. Then this is the 4th instance. This is the 4th instance, yeah. And then there will be a 5th instance of 5 node, that is correct. So 5 instances for x, that is correct. And then yeah, for y we have y0, y1, and then 5 nodes y2, so that requires 3 for y. For z we require only 1, that is z0. For w we require 2, right? One w0, and the other is this w1, right? So yeah, so that is, yeah, you guys are correct. So 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, that seems to be 11. Somebody is saying something. Why 4 for y, Sarthak? Y equal to 2. No, y should require 3 because there is y0, then there is assignment in the if condition, which is y1, and they will also require 5 node. So y equal to 3. Yeah, okay.
So in this first 2 assignments have 2 operations, so don't we have to count temporaries?
That's a good question, but we didn't say anything about 3 address code. We just said SSA.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to fill in the blank. So the IR is functionally equivalent to this. Yeah, this was little easy, but I don't know what all you guys have written. Sorry, there is a question. Why are we choosing not to count x0, h0, etc.? x0, y0, etc. Because that is not getting used. I mean, in the sense that there is no initial value of x0 really required. So therefore, we'll mark this as x0 or whatever. As far as y, z, w are concerned, those are used, and therefore we'll use their y0, z0, w0 values. So we don't require their excess initial value. We did not have that. Okay. So this one, yeah, I think this was again easy, but not again easy, but this was easy. T1 is the probably the expected one, but since I have not mentioned whether it is in 3 address code or not, I think even if you have written x minus y, I will give the answer correct. Right? So either T1 or x minus y should be the correct answer for this. Yeah, I wanted to have it as only T1, but I think I did not mention that it should be a single variable or something like that, or it should be in 3 address code or something like that. Will there be problems because of white spaces? Yeah, there might be problems because of white spaces. In fact, I didn't think about x minus y at all. And therefore, if it was only T1, then it would have been without any spaces. So that could have been okay. But what we'll do is I'll mark both of these answers. I'll see if I can give regular expression in Moodle so that the spaces can be taken care of. But I'll see if you finally find that yours is wrongly evaluated, you just let me know, we'll take care of that. Just note it down. Okay, then this one is, yeah, this was a little complicated in the sense that not complicated but convoluted. But yeah, so if essentially if you have x plus y evaluation here, then if t not equal to 0, then you should go to the evaluation of y greater than, if true b, right? So you should go to the evaluation of y greater than 0. So that means that you should go to L1. Right? So this is L1, and accordingly you will be able to fill up. But some of the conditions might be reversed. For example, y less than equal to 0 rather than y greater than 0. Right? So if it is true, that means that the condition is false, and then you should go to evaluation of x equals 4. Right? So that x equals 4 is happening much later. So you should jump to 9 if it is false. If it is true, I mean that y less than 0 is true. Yeah, so Abhishek has written an answer. L1. Yeah, this one, however, is not L9, I think. Yeah, so if x plus y is false, right? I mean, this condition is false, then you should go to x equals no? What did I write? Okay, some of you have gotten it as, okay, I'll check what this, so let me just quickly confirm that. So if x plus y not equal to 0, this is the condition, and if it is true, then you go to L1, so that part is okay. But if it is false, then you should go to evaluation of x equals 4. That x equals 4 is L9. Why should it not be L9? Why should it be L4? No, this is short circuiting. So if it is false, this is a C semantics, right? So if it is false, then you should go to evaluation of x equals 4, right? So it should be, it should not be L4. It should be definitely L9. But there are multiple answers possible at some places. For example, if this probably turns out to be go to L5 or something, which is again the next instruction. So whenever there is go to L5, you can either have L5 or L6. So both of these will be given correct answer. So I'll check this, but I think yeah, most of you are writing that it should be L1, L9 should be there, not L4. I don't think that L4 is the correct one because of short circuiting. So I'll just check if the answer that is given by Naman, Anirudh, etc. is going to be valid. And then we'll have options for wherever there is a possibility that you can have a jump to the next label. So there could be multiple options which are valid. So that is also correct. Okay, sorry I have exceeded the time, but I will just quickly finish that part. One last thing. Yeah, this is about exit. This was more like to tease you guys on the x86 part, but I'm sure some of you got it. You just need to convert it, this dead beef into zeros and ones. And then essentially you are right shifting by 1, but then you have to keep track of that the sign extension is happening on the left hand side. So as long as that is taken care of, you will get the correct answer. So I think the answer that I have obtained is this one. Right, so you can check if that is correct, but yeah, some of you might not have done x86 part, but yeah, I understand that you might not have thought that I'll ask a question on this, but I decided to ask, so since this was on code generation. Okay, so I'll post these answers, and we can have a discussion on that second question, the multiple choice, etc., one or more, and I'll see what can be done about that. But if you have any further questions, you can either mail me or post on Moodle. Maybe I'll post answers, and after that you can do it. All right, so we'll stop here. Any further questions?